During the winter, you want to make sure you're keeping your home as warm as you can, but in some of Maine's older structures, they leave some room, or a lot of room, for that heat to escape.
A company in Westbrook is looking to solve that issue by making a few repairs for homeowners. Here's Don Kerrigan with more.
Maine is blessed with thousands of old houses, 150, 200 years, even older. We've got them. Keeping those buildings in good repair and keeping people inside them warm means taking care of old windows. And if you're serious about caring for old windows, you come here to Begala Window Works in Westbrook. Is this a new piece? Replacement piece?
It is not. It's just she's hand planing it.
Making it good again. This is not a place where the work gets pushed through. It is precise and sometimes painstaking. Taking worn and even rotted windows and fragile old glass and making them like new.
And the best part of it is that whenever we do this for somebody, they're like amazed at how perfect their house is, and they never thought they could get it as warm as it is right then and there. Wow. You know, that's the best part of the business.
Mark Begala was a carpenter who wanted to work for himself. 37 years ago, he found a system to put metal weather stripping into old windows to seal out the cold.
I found that windows needed to be repaired before I could even weather strip them. They had to be stable before I could weather strip them, so I had to learn all those other skills.
Now, all these years and thousands of windows later, the business has 18 people working, like Jenna Rockwell, the shop's floor manager.
We would take glazing and put the glazing in here.
She showed us how fragile old window sashes get their glass back. The same panes in the same places as when the windows came in. Kyle has been doing this work for 25 years.
For me, some of it is very relaxing. You know, I just like to come in here in the morning, turn my radio on, and get to work.
These windows come from a historic house in East Waterboro and were in hard shape. But now careful craftsmanship has rebuilt them straight and solid. Pretty good for something 175 years old. And when you're talking old buildings and old windows, they don't come much older than this, the historic Walpole Meeting House, built before the Revolutionary War. This building has 28 windows, made in England. But a quick look will make you wonder where they are.
We were trying to kind of match the paint. It's not going to be easy to match the paint to what's there.
The Meeting House windows, as you may guess, are all right here, where Mark Begala's team gently took them down to bare wood.
When we started taking the glass out, all of our techs were like...
And then began fixing 253 years of wear.
Were they getting pretty bad?
Yes. The putty was falling out, and the muntins where people put the glazing compound had weathered over time, so they weren't sticking up enough to get new putty in.
Mary and Fred Bowers came to see the progress. Mary is president of the Meeting House board. Her family has been part of the Meeting House since it was built.
I am just so thrilled. I can't tell you how thrilled we are. And to actually meet the crafts people here that are able to put in new pieces of wood and then do the glazing. It's just craftsmanship is amazing.
All this is expensive, a lot of money for a small nonprofit. Fred Bowers, who's the treasurer, agrees they might have been able to buy new windows for less.
They wouldn't have looked right. It would, where the rest of the building really is museum quality, it would have been a shame to kind of defile that museum by putting in modern windows.
Mark Begala says people who own old houses or other buildings are stewards of the history they hold. And that means, among other things, caring for them.
I have a saying that I like to say, is I never met a window I couldn't restore. Now, we might have to replace 80% of it, but we're going to restore that window. We're going to bring something original back into that opening.
And what his team does, Mark says, the windows that go back in should last another 100 years.
I was curious what that ratio is of replacing versus preserving.
Right.
How much of it counts as a preservation? As long as some of it's still there.
Yep, it's there.
Beautiful work.